And so the graphics tablet, it's not going to do anything because I don't have a graphics tablet connected. But if you did have a drawing tablet or whatever, and you wanted to configure some settings with it, you would do so in here in the hardware. I can just click on it and it says no tablet detected. Please plug in or turn on your graphics tablet. So, and if it's Bluetooth connection, it gives you a little link to the Bluetooth settings in case you need to do that. But I simply don't have one to show you how that functions there. But keyboard settings. So this is just some general settings for your keyboard. It says enable key repeat, and you do want to do that. Generally, that's pretty common behavior. That's where you're holding down the button and it will continue to type the multiples of the key being held down. So you can change the delay and the speed of the repeat. So if you wanted to repeat more slowly, you could turn that down as you wish. Text cursor blinks. So if you don't want your text cursor to blink, you can turn that off. And if you want it to do it by default, it does. If you want it to blink faster, you can turn it higher. If you want to blink slower, you can turn it to the left here. Shortcuts for the keyboard. So here you can define a whole bunch of keyboard shortcuts within Linux, within the Linux environment. I won't go too deep into this because this could be, a rabbit hole in and of itself to go down. But you can see on the side here, it's tells you the functions of whatever you're trying to do. So if you want to, let's just say minimize a window, so you click that, and then keyboard bindings are all unassigned. So what that means is that there isn't a keyboard shortcut currently set for minimizing a window. And if you click here on the arrows, you can see there's even more settings inside that for positioning, tiling and snapping, for inter workspaces and inter monitor settings. It gets pretty involved. You can really customize this to where your system works exactly how you want it to, with all your own custom keyboard shortcuts and everything. For example, this one here, just in the general shortcuts to show the desktop, the current the default keyboard combination is the super key and the D. So when it says the super key, it means the Windows key on your keyboard. So if you press the Windows key and the D key after that, it will show the desktop, which is actually this little icon here. It says click to show the desktop, or middle click to show the desklets. So if you click that, it actually just shows the desktops. And what it means by shows the desktop is it minimizes all open windows and it takes you back to just the desktop view. It's helpful if you have a whole bunch of stuff open and you want to quickly get back to just the main desktop here. You can just do that. You just click that. But also per the keyboard shortcut here, you can press the Windows key and the D key, and it will perform the same action as clicking over here on this desktop. I show the desktop icon there. So you can literally go through system, launching terminals, help browser, the calculator. It goes on and on. There's all kinds of stuff you can set in here. I don't usually play with this too much, but it can be useful if you need to know what certain, like if you're trying to find a keyboard shortcut for a specific function. Like I really want to know what the keyboard shortcut is for closing a window. Like what is it? What's the the default keyboard combination that I can use just using my keyboard to close this open window? Well, it happens to be Alt and F4, just like on Windows. It's the same combination of key presses there. So but yeah, and so as you can see, you can set up multiples if you prefer. So if you want that one, or you also want another one that you like, you can do that in those unassigned slots there. If you don't like Alt F4 as the default, you say no, I don't want that to be how I close the window. I want it to be Alt F2. Then assuming there's not already an Alt F2 for something else, you can change it. And this is where you would take care of all of those kinds of shortcuts. You can define them, redefine existing ones. You can include new ones that aren't there yet, that sort of thing. And then we have the keyboard layout section. And so over here on the left it says, for English US, that's the only layout that I have set up for my keyboard. But if you wanted to add more, you can right down here, in case you have different kinds of keyboards or multiple ways that you like to do it. You can check this box here that says include less common layouts in the selection list. So if you had less common layout that you wanted to use, checking that will do it. We'll give you the option. That's if you don't see the one that you want already in the list. It says use the same layout for all windows or allow different layouts for individual windows. So by default it uses them all for all open windows, but if you wanted to really specify, you could change that. And then some options related to that. New Windows use the default layout, or new Windows use the previous Windows layout. So you could figure out which one you want to do for your needs there. There's some display options as well. It says use a country flag if available to represent keyboard layouts. So you can toggle that on or off. If you don't like seeing all the flags on there or whatever, you can turn that off. It says show the layout name instead of the group name when using text to represent a layout. So you can toggle that if you like. And it says prefer uppercase when using text to represent a layout. So those are all just very specific display options for the layouts that you can change to your liking there. And there's also a options button down here on the side. It says view and edit keyboard layout options. So if you click there, it says keyboard layout options. It's got a list, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on here with a lot of these. And you can just click on one of these here. So control position is defined as whatever. So you can say at bottom left, or the left of A, or caps lock as control as hyper. I'm not even sure what hyper is, but it says caps lock as control. And so you can customize things a little bit if you have a very particular way of preferring things, or if your keyboard layout is slightly unusual compared to standard, or those sorts of things. You can modify everything very individually and specifically and particularly using these settings here. So that's where you would be able to fine-tune all your keyboard settings. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn even more, you can find my books at books2read.com/Jonathan. That's books, the number 2, read.com/JONATHAN.